This boy, great chance, Pulsar, still a chance, yes!
A little knock forward, but that's it! The president to the captain.
The recipient, Kolisi to the short side and marked!
Hi everybody and welcome to SA Rugby Magazine. I'm Kevin Ferguson. I've got Scott Gibbs with me. Scott, if the intro to this video doesn't give you goosebumps and create excitement, nothing will.
Yeah.
Check your pulse. You're probably dead. All Blacks, Springboks, Ellis Park. Does it get better than this?
Greatest rivalry in the history of rugby union, isn't it? You know, the mighty All Blacks against the Springboks. And we've seen, you know, over the last quarter of a century how the re-emergence into international rugby and what it's done for rugby in South Africa, and also from the World Cup perspective, the results are the results, aren't they?
They always are.
It's salivating. The two most powerful, potent rugby teams in the history of rugby union. And you can't argue with that. The numbers are there.
No, there's no rivalry in rugby quite like it.
No.
Maybe Paul Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we are going to pick the Springbok 23 that we think stand the best chance of beating the All Blacks.
So we're going to do what you want to do then, is it?
Yeah, we're going to do it. Well, I'm usually doing what you want to do, so today we make a change. Yeah, clean break.
Okay, honey.
So we're going to... Okay, darling. We're going to pick the 23 that we think and the starting positions. Little competition for people. Like and subscribe. Pick your team, and if it's the first person to pick the team that Rassie picks will get 5,000 Rand. We'll give him 5,000 Rand for watching this show and having to put up with us. Yeah. That's a great night out in Cape Town. That's 2 cocktails in London.
Right on.
Exactly. Okay, so number 1, loose head.
Well, you know, I'm going to go for Ox and Che.
Yeah. Why?
Well, I think that what we've seen is that you could argue that the depth in the front row is just an embarrassment of riches.
Yeah.
I think they just go with the highest level of production for that 45, 50-minute window before the super subs come on.
The bomb squad.
The bomb squad.
Yeah. I think also, I agree. I'm picking Oxenshade just to start. And then, of course, I'm picking Kitsoff to come off the bench at around 30, 35. He has been injured. Some game time would suit him.
Well, I got the privilege to meet him a couple of weeks ago, only for half an hour. We were out in Constantia, and there was a little bit of an initiative. And, of course, he's been injured. Returning to South Africa, I think, means a lot to him and the family, having a spell in Ulster. So for him to be back in the fray as an option now is only going to strengthen the resolve of the front row, isn't it?
I agree. And maybe he starts in Cape Town, where his heart is and his home is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're in both. We're in agreement. Oxenche and Kitsoff.
Yeah.
Then you've got number 2, the hooker.
Bongi?
I can't.
I think he's just been so consistent at the moment.
Yeah.
And his strengths and obviously Mark's strengths are totally different from a hooker's perspective. And I love the counterbalance that they both provide, because later on in the game, I think Mark's is just better at being a real pain in the butt when it comes to the breakdown, and then higher level of production. Just brings the athleticism in the third, fourth quarter of the game.
Yeah, and you said embarrassment of riches. Again, either one of those guys could start.
That's right. And the fact is, if you're going to manage these supreme athletes, and I put Marks as one of the best, is that the fact is, under Rassie, he could play well into his late 30s or even into his 40s if his game time is managed.
Yes, and it seems to be being managed.
And under the Bomb Squad initiative, it's provided a lot of competition.
Yeah.
but it's also provided a great amount of relief and substance to their ability to control games later on in the con and make an impact. Not only like substitutions used to be relievers, now they're just like sharp end finishers, aren't they?
Well, certainly in the box for sure.
Yeah.
And you look across. If I'm on the opposition, I'm looking across the field at the 55th or 60th minute or 50th minute, and I see someone that's built like the Incredible Hulk coming on. There's no respite. It doesn't get any easier. In fact, a healthy, fit guy coming on with 40 to 35 to 30 minutes left is a bit demoralizing.
Well, yeah, you're in Ellis Park, 1,800 meters or so. You're sucking diesel, and then you see Malcolm Marx come on, didn't you?
Yeah,
You're like, if your body language doesn't change and your head drops, oh my God, are you kidding me?
Yeah. No, and you're right. I mean, it must be so demoralizing. Then we have we have the tight head. Who are you putting in as tight head?
Franz Malherbe.
How? Why? What? Did we have a very connected weekend? Because I am going with Franz Malherbe as well.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean the guy's a workhorse.
It's called synchrony.
Okay.
Our brainwaves this Monday morning must be just, correlating.
Yeah. We're having our periods in the same time of the month as well. Anyway.
Menopause.
Menopause. Exactly. So Malherbe. Then I've got Koch coming off the bench to part of the bomb squad. So those three: Kitsoff, Malcolm Marx, Vincent Koch, coming off the bench around the 50th minute mark to replace. So three equally decent players coming on to replace three excellent players.
I'm going to go with Thomas de Toy. I just think he offers a little bit more grunt, and also is from a domestic perspective, has been a rich vein of form with Bath, and his ability to scurry and scoot and get close to the white line is for me just tips the advantage into his favour.
Okay, thanks for that. So number 4 and 5 is pretty easy to pencil in, I think.
Yeah.
Let's start with Eben.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Man Mountain, Monster.
Yes, incredible body of work. 120 plus test matches, I think. I'm not counting, but nobody's done it better in my humble opinion.
No, and you said that as well. And I didn't get a call from Bucky's or anything like that, so
no.
I'm safe for now. You're safe for now.
Yeah.
So we put in Eben.
Yeah.
And then number 5 again, Aki Snaman.
Well, we've seen him come off the bench and be such an impactful player because of his footballing ability, and he's got great awareness in the close quarter battles where he has the ability to offload, which has given them so many other dimensions. But I think against the All Blacks, the first hour you need to set the tone, and I think those two, that's their primary role.
Yes, and I think it's one of the massive advantages that they have over the All Blacks.
They do. Especially, I think that from an All Blacks point of view, there will be a concerted effort from a line-out defence disruption perspective. So I think you pick your frontline starters. You have to.
Yeah. Okay, so we got Eben and
Archie Sneeman.
Sneeman. Nice one. Then we go to 6. Who are you picking at 6, Scotty?
Captain Marvel, Sia Khaleesi.
Yeah, I agree. So you got 6, and then is there any doubt picking 7?
No, there's no doubt, is it? Peter Steph Detoy.
Yep, Peter Steph Detoy.
There was a wonderful colour analyst for the Betfred Super League, the English Rugby League competition.
Yeah.
John Wilkin, a former second row for St. Helens, who's one of the primary guys, primary voices on the Betfred, and he described one of his former props that's still currently playing for St. Helens, Alex Walmsley.
Yeah.
And he described it as to to tackle this guy, it feels like you are shooting scaffolding poles out of a cannon. That's what I think it feels like when Peter Steph the toy runs at you. Do you get it?
Well, yeah, I used to plaster and years ago, like in my teens, and I know how hard scaffolding is. So I can only imagine that analogy is a good analogy.
Yeah. Where do you start? Yeah.
Well, there's no upside to catching a piece of scaffolding. Zero.
Yeah.
So we got, and then 8. Who are you picking for 8?
I think Jasper Wiese comes in. Obviously, after a long break, given that he'd been suspended for such a time. One, I think Rassie wants to get him back in the fold. 2, I think he needs to be playing. And also, it's just another envelope of physicality, because the guy's got an enormous work rate,
So your 8 is?
Yeah. And the thing is, for me, he's the type of guy that doesn't go missing in games. He's very hungry for the ball, because you'll see him very actively communicating, out of the way, I'm ready, I'm fresh.
Yeah.
And that, again, it's another level of production that the Boks are going to need to face the All Blacks.
So Jasper...
Do you know him? You ever heard of him?
If I ever heard of Jasper Wiese. Yeah, come on.
He's pretty tasty, Kev.
Well, he's tidy, as they would say in Wales.
Yeah.
I can't argue with you again. Well, I don't know what's going on with us.
Oh, well, I think
we've had one disagreement.
I know. Well, the weekend's not over. The weekend is over.
It is over, but
yeah.
So Jasper Wiese. Yep.
I think we're going to start to
fall
out now. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be the first time. We're kind of like the odd couple at home, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun,
You're like you're Tony Randall, the clean.
Tony Randall. No, I'm the Jack Lemmon, baby. And you were the cantankerous Walter Matthau.
What's wrong, Oscar?
Something wrong with this system, that's what's wrong. I don't think that 2 single men living alone in a big 8-room apartment should have a cleaner house than my mother.
Yes.
We are literally that. We are literally that.
I can't, but if I dirty a dish, it's clean within 13 seconds.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, where'd my cup of coffee go?
Yeah.
I just cleaned it.
Yeah.
Anyway, number 9.
Ooh. Well, there's no Faf, so...
Yeah, unfortunately, no
Faf. Injured...
For the season?
Injured for a while, I guess. Yeah, out for the foreseeable future.
Mm-hmm.
We talked last week about there's no real incumbent. No one's really put their hand up and, dominated that jersey.
No.
Have they?
No.
And they're all very different. Jaden Hendrickson, Cobus Reinhardt, Grant Williams, all bring something different.
Yes.
But we just haven't seen consistency, that perpetual motion, that guy at the ruck, supplying the forwards and the backs in the carrying game. So
I'm going with Cobus Reinhardt. I think that I didn't think he had a particularly good game in the first one against Australia. I think he was pretty average, But I think that you have to go with him. He's only had 2 minutes of starting time. I mean, he was concussed in his first start, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, he took a huge bang. Yeah. Collided with his own player. Yeah.
So I think that you put in Cobus Reinhardt at number 9, and hope that he shows the minerals.
Oh, he's definitely got the minerals and the physicality, and I think he likes the broken field situational thing. I'm ambivalent about the starter. My concern is that nobody's really grabbed it by the scruff of the neck.
No. Well, it's a tough position to play, and
it is tough. You need cohesion.
Yeah.
I think that how I would best describe it is there hasn't been a fluidity and this reading and understanding of the body language between 9 and 10. The paradox of choice maybe is the problem at the moment. Because there's been no out-and-out frontline starter that's shot the lights out.
So who are you picking?
I'm going with Jaden Hendrickson.
Yeah. Well,
No, I'm going against.
are they going to have two scrum? Are they going to in their 6-2 split? Is is Kubas Reinecker on the bench?
No, I'm going to go with Grant Williams on the bench as the reliever.
Okay.
In favorable weather, difficult conditions, altitude perspective, I'm going to go with the gunner. The guy who has the ability to open up defenses and run the length of the field.
Okay. Well, I think I might go with Jaden Hendrickson on the bench.
Like, Kubas Reinecker is such a physical specimen at 9. But the fact is, if you look at the front 8 before him, you're trying to say that we want to have an armchair ride. So you don't need that extra back row type of number 9. So that's why I'm trying to go with more continuity, freeing up quicker ball, more reps.
Yeah. Well, you've played international rugby, so what do I know? But I'll go with Kubas. 10. Now we're going to disagree again. I just feel it.
Oh my God, we feel it.
Yeah.
Pollard starts for me. Absolutely 100%.
I'll tell you why you shouldn't start.
Go on then, you tell me, man.
Because Feinberg hasn't done much wrong. Sacha, let's call him
Sacha, yeah.
Hasn't done much
SFM.
wrong. Does not. Rassie picking Pollard is basically a slap in the face to Sacha, in my opinion, especially when you talk about building for the next World Cup. I think the Boks have enough of a team that Sacha does extremely well. I would bring Pollard off the bench if things aren't going well. And I even bring Pollard because I've got LaRue starting at 15. And I think that Pollard can come in and play 15 or 10. Not that Sacha can't, but I think that my safety valve would be see how things are going. Pollard, come off the bench. Let this guy keep developing. I mean, don't wrap him in cotton wool. Let him play. Let him develop.
Oh, I get your point of view, and I'm saying that I think Jaden Hendrickson Pollard gives the Boks a better chance to win.
Well,
I just want to. I would prefer to see control, composure, rather than the high percentage play, given the stakes.
Well, I think the only way that the Boks beat the Boks, the All Blacks beat the Boks, is through intensity. Now, if the Boks can't match up intensity at Ellis Park with the team that they have, they've got no one to blame but themselves. The only way the All Blacks can beat the Springboks besides intensity is playing a skillful game, fast, skillful game. And I think the guys like Sacha take that away, whereas you've got limitations with Pollard.
Well, I wouldn't disagree, but the fact is that I haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen that with Sacha, and I agree with you. He's done nothing wrong, but...
Except for the knock-on.
Yeah. But I just haven't seen that run-play option, a cohesive body of work that brings the backs into the game if the forwards don't have the momentum from a carrying perspective.
Yeah.
I think Pollard offers that a little bit more in the context of when the game needs to be simplified, he can utilize his gain line efficiency through Creel and his other backs much better just because of muscle memory.
Yeah.
Big game, clutch moments, lower percentage plays, greater output. There's a higher risk of it not working with Sacha at the moment. That is not a slur on his ability or his performances to date. I just think that is still a question mark because he hasn't delivered that complete performance at the fly half jersey at the moment.
No, I get that. So you're putting in Pollard with Sacha coming off the bench.
Ooh. Wait and see. Wait and see.
Okay. Okay, who are we playing on the left wing, number 11?
Curtly Aronson. Yeah. I think he's just cemented his place.
Yep.
His
Well,
body, again,
body
body
work.
work, both sides of the ball,
Yep.
high level of production.
Create
skill
something
level.
out of nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Quality.
And his diminutive style,
Yeah.
he has just been pretty ridiculous when it comes to his defensive reads and such. So
Yeah, he's been
superb.
Superb. Man of the match for me in the last game.
Yeah.
Do we need to even say number 12?
I mean, 12 and 13, I think, speak for themselves. There's no one really knocking on that door because the current occupants are just doing such a great job, aren't they?
Yeah. So we're both in agreement, Damien.
Damien Delende, Jesse Creel, 12-13.
Yes.
Body language,
Confidence in Creel just
Confidence.
keeps getting better and better. He's become a true leader.
Yeah, but both of them have in different ways, haven't they?
I
I think influentially that Creel's now is becoming more of a playing a vice captain role because in his outside centre position he's reading the situations better.
Yeah.
And Damon Delenn is just
What makes him so good? You played that position, Scott. What makes him so good?
I just think
Because sorry. In 2019 World Cup, privately we'd have chats, and I don't get it. And then you had to educate me. I'm all for listening.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay,
I just
get
think
it.
I think feet and shoulder position, as nuances at first centre. I suppose most regular folk won't understand what I'm meaning by that, but it's just his positional play, his ability to input situations and save plays. When there's a bad pass or there's something not on, he has the ability to correct and make the right decision.
And is that
very very powerful in running in his lanes, inside, straight and out.
Is it the way he squares his shoulders? And
It's just the body positioning, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
There's an old musical analogy from a jazz perspective: half the strokes, twice the feel. You don't have to be a busy fool. And of course, it goes back to do not confuse activity with productivity.
Yes.
So
you mean when guys are drifting across the
lots
field?
of people get good touches and so on. It's just his ability to make massive impacts with small body positional moments. That I think sets him apart.
Where would you rate him in the world right now as an inside?
I think consistently over the last 3 or 4 years, I think he's the best.
Okay.
It really is the best.
Huge praise coming from you, who was also not bad. You weren't bad at that position.
No, I held my own, as they said.
I can't get you to be braggadocious, can I? I just can't do it.
No.
You're okay, bud. You're decent. Okay, so we got Damien, Jesse, and Jesse's just growing in confidence for me. And now the 14, the right wing.
Cheslin Colby?
Yeah.
I think given the history of Springbok rugby where they've been blessed with really big, powerful, nasty wingers, the counterbalance now has been we have these two inimitable, incredible players that are diminutive in kind of size, but huge when it comes to ability to change games on their head.
And I think that's what we didn't have before.
Just elusiveness, speed, acceleration, and such, and their ability to just turn up in the most inopportune moments, but create something out of nothing.
Yeah, and the read of the game, the reaction time. It's so exciting to watch this ball.
And I think excitable is the word because they play with a smile on their face. They never go missing. They always want to be involved.
Work rate's great.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And then 15, I'm going Willy LaRue.
You're going with Willy LaRue, and that's where I'm going to bring Sacha Feinberg Gumuzelu into the game.
Where'd that come from?
No, it just came out of my mouth right now, but it's been written down for about an hour, so yeah, I have given it some thought.
You're the Joe Rogan of rugby podcasts. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't see that one coming. You didn't share it with me.
No, and I'm not. We've been talking about Sacha as we do not want to lose this guy because he's a jack of all trades and master of none. But the fact is that he does belong on the field. Just for me, hasn't done enough in command and control and composure at 10 to maybe get this frontline starter job this Saturday in Johannesburg. I just think Pollard has been there and done it and is better in bigger moments and offers a lot more of that composure and control that is required on these big game moments. Sacha, for me, at fullback, and this is not to go against Willy's body of work of late, I just think offers a little bit more understanding when you look at that back three, the umbrella, Kirtley, Aronson, Colby, Sacha. They've been one of their elements where they have been very strong is counter-attack and broken field situations. And one-on-one, we saw in the second test against Ireland, Sacha's ability to just break the first tackle on the counter-attack just turns the dynamic of the game on its head.
Yeah, he's a decent kicker. I just think that Willy offers a bit more calmness than Sacha might at this stage.
I do
just like your Pollard reasoning.
Exactly, yeah. And when you talk about critical reasoning, that's the reason why we all have an opinion.
Yeah.
So that would be my outlier. I would certainly be more on the front foot about Pollard at 10 and comfortable with Willy at 15 than I would be with Sacha at 10 and Willy starting at 15.
Okay, so who's coming off the bench then, Scott? We've got Kitsoff, Marks, Cock. We got. I would put in Quacker there to in the forwards to come off as well. Quacker Smith.
Yeah, big fan of Quacker. I think his ability, in that 60-minute mark to come up with big plays, the turnover, the tackle, abrasiveness in the carrying game. Absolutely, Quacker's my kind of first reliever in that sense. I have BJ Dixon and Eldrick Rowe just to beef that physicality and impact. I think you need to have intensity and speed when it comes to later on in the game, especially if you are maybe chasing a deficit. And of course, you have the ability to move Peter Steff into the second row, don't you? So you can free up some space in the back row with Dixon and Lowe.
Well, so that we've got that's Smith, Kitsoff, Marks, and Cock. That's 4 forwards coming. I've got Jaden Hendrickson.
Yeah.
Coming on as a replacement, though Colby could easily fill into that scrum half position.
Yeah.
But let's say you've got Jaden Hendrickson, you've got Pollard. That takes it to that's a 4-2 split. BJ Dixon takes it to a 5-2 split. So those are my subs, and I think that team, spoiled for riches, fantastic team, and should be able to beat the All Blacks. Though I don't think it's going to be a beatdown.
No, I mean, the last 15 tests at Ellis Park, Box have won 9, All Blacks have won 6. Tries 4 and against 37, plays 34, 2.5 tries per game for the Box, 2.3 per AB is the average score, 23-22. It's as close as it gets when it comes to Ellis Park. That's why I think you don't become blasé about exploring your options. I think you stick to what a winning side should look like.
Yeah.
We've seen lots of rotation with Rassie. That is his métier. That's his genius. Nobody's second guessing him in that perspective. But this show is about what I believe would be the box side for Saturday if I was a selector.
Well, thanks for that, Scott. And remember, people, unless you've got something wrong with your arm, like and subscribe. Put in a team. If it's the team that's selected and you're the first person to do it, we'll give you 5,000 rand.
So you were saying someone's going to win 5,000 rand if they correctly predict the starting lineup that Rassie announces
If
earlier
they're the
this week.
first person to do it.
If they're the first person. Ooh, got to be quick on the button then.
You should be, yeah.
Yeah.
South Africans usually are.
But you're going to have to get up early in the morning to get one over on Rassie, though, aren't you?
Well, you've got to be an insomniac.
Yeah.
Anyway, folks, that's our teams for this week. Tomorrow, next video, we'll have a look at the All Blacks and what team that we think that they should put out to give the Boks a game and possibly win.
So, yeah, look forward to tomorrow. We go through the All Blacks team, who's in, who's out, what we think is right and wrong, and disseminate some of the key effort areas that, if the All Blacks get it right, could put South Africa under real pressure this weekend in Ellis Park.
Yeah, I look forward to that, Scott. Thanks very much, mate.
Out to Robertson. This boy. Great chance. Pulsar. Still a chance. Yes.
Little knock forward. But that's it. The president to the captain.
Well, it's been dominant from the Springboks, especially up front.
Well, absolutely dominant.